Millions of people flock to amusement parks each year to experience the latest, greatest extreme thrill machines.
I believe extreme rides are those amusement devices that really push the envelope of human creativity and imagination, that push you to the edge of danger but don't quite let you go there.
Fueling this industry is the human need to challenge our bodies and minds.
It really conjures up all of those emotions and feelings that really make you feel like you're out of control, but you know you're not out of control.
It's heart-stopping, heart-pounding.
When you ride it, you get that intense feeling, and you just want to ride it like over and over and over again.
To quench the insatiable human thirst for extreme rides, parks and ride designers must devise novel ways to deliver the ultimate thrill.
The state of extreme rides today is the best it's ever been. You know, virtually the sky's the limit.
They continue to get bigger, faster, wilder, scarier, more intense.
They're pushing the envelope, pushing people's imaginations.
So hold on tight as we take you over the edge to explore and experience the world's most thrilling extreme rides. Some 317 million Americans visited 450 amusement parks in the United States last year. What they seek are fun and thrills.
Thrill, fear, and fun, it's all the same. For someone who really likes rides, you know, you want to have the fun, and a lot of people, you can't have fun unless you have the fear.
Safely experiencing fear of the park is through extreme speeds and heights.
An extreme ride is a ride that will give you a huge adrenaline rush, and it will give you a concept of risk, even when there is no risk involved.
I think the popularity of extreme rides has certainly increased over the past several years, and we can see that because of the proliferation of extreme rides. The tall rides are getting taller and faster. The roller coasters are getting bigger and better.
Roller coasters have become one of the most popular forms of extreme rides. There are more than 600 coasters in the United States, and 35 new ones opened in 2001.
People are just more excited about doing things that takes them to the edge.
Before exploring the world's best extreme rides, here's a brief look at a few that debuted this past year. Busch Gardens, Tampa Bay opened Rhino Rally, a four-wheel drive off-road safari adventure. The Northeast's tallest and longest inverted coaster, Talon, took flight at Dorney Park in Allentown, Pennsylvania, soaring 135 feet high and measuring 3,110 feet long.
With today's technology, you're finding that with roller coasters, we can now do more things. We can now create a flying sensation, a diving sensation, things that you can do on a roller coaster that, unless you're a pilot or a skydiver, you can't get anywhere else. So that's why you're seeing an increase in extreme thrill rides.
Down south, Silver Dollar City in Branson, Missouri unleashed wildfire. This 66-mile-per-hour sit-down coaster races across 3 acres of woods and hills. Six Flags Over Texas in Fort Worth produced Titan, the Lone Star's largest ride. Titan's supports and track consume more than 2.8 million pounds of steel. That's enough steel to build over 16,000 cars. Towering 25 stories, this 85-mile-per-hour extreme ride drops guests at a near vertical 61-degree angle. Not to be outdone, Six Flags Great Adventure in Jackson, New Jersey opened the East Coast's tallest and fastest traditional steel coaster. The 80-mile-per-hour Nitro offers open-air seats that lift riders 230 feet high. Then it blasts them into extreme maneuvers that include a 215-foot first drop, double highly banked horizontal flat loops, an S-curve, and a high high-speed hammerhead featuring intense tight twists and turns.
There's a precipice that people want to approach, and they don't want to go over the edge, but they want to get right up close to it and look over the side and see what's down there. And I think extreme rides deliver that, and I believe the riding public, people who come to our parks, expect that. I believe they demand it.
Fulfilling that demand, Deja Vu opened at Six Flags Magic Mountain in Valencia, California, Six Flags Over Georgia in Atlanta, and Six Flags Great America in Gurnee, Illinois. Deja Vu is a suspended looping boomerang ride.
You'll zip down 90 degrees through the station at 70 miles an hour, loop through a boomerang, a loop, back up on your back, 200 feet straight into the air. You feel like an astronaut as you're climbing this thing. It really takes roller coasters to another extreme because you truly get a forward and backward sensation. That's the name Deja Vu.
Meanwhile, Six Flags Marine World in Vallejo, California, and Six Flags Great America in Illinois opened V2, Vertical Velocity. The shuttle coaster rockets riders from 0 to 70 miles per hour up 15-story towers. Paramount's King's Dominion in Doswell, Virginia, aimed to redefine extreme by unveiling Hypersonic. The world's first air-launched coaster utilizes shock absorbers, rubber tires, and compressed air technology to jettison riders from 0 to 80 miles per hour in less than 2 seconds.
The whole idea of coming to a park or going on to an extreme ride is the feeling that you're escaping from everything else and you're away from the mundane and you're doing something very special. So it's a real rush for a lot of people.
Now, let's journey to Mitchellville, Maryland to explore our first extreme ride, where a human flight machine streaks through the sky, soaring 115 feet high, along 3,340 feet of steel track, exceeding 50 miles per hour, coursing through a horseshoe inversion, a vertical loop, a pair of corkscrews, and 4 180-degree flips. And it can only be faced lying down.
Yeah! Batwing! Six Flags America! Absolutely extreme! Woo!
Batwing is located at Six Flags America near Washington, D.C. The park offers an assortment of scream machines to soar riders through the air, including 7 other wooden and steel coasters. In 2000, Paramount's Great America in Santa Clara, California opened Stealth, the world's first flying coaster. The following year, Six Flags America premiered the first flying coaster on the East Coast.
You ever dreamed about flying? Have you ever dreamed about going really fast, high up in the sky, watching the ground just move below you? This is the ride for you.
Batwing's popular appeal stems from 2 human desires.
Man has always wanted to fly. And we've always tried skydiving, the sky coaster to some extent, an extreme ride, you're flying. But you really get the sense of flying on the Batwing. It's a flying coaster, you're laying there, you can put your hands out.
The power of flight fulfills our other fantasy, flying through the sky like a superhero.
Everyone, when they're growing up, will pretend at some point that they fly. And other coasters have attempted to really create that sensation, but the way you ride those in the seated position, it's close, but it's just not there. With this one, the way that you ride it, the sensations that you feel, I think it's the closest way to feel that you're actually a superhero flying on your own.
Batwing's superhero adventure begins as guests board the 24-seat train, sitting 4 abreast and facing backwards. Anticipation mounts as guests are securely detained by Batwing's unique harnesses. Flight commences with a stomach-churning 115-foot climb, lying on your back, head first, and looking straight up into the blue sky.
Right now, we're at the highest point on Batwing, 115 feet in the air. This is the turning point where the riders take flight.
At the crest, guests are inverted into a 180-degree twist, transforming extreme ride thrill seekers into high-flying heroes.
It's like almost a religious experience when you turn over. It's unlike any other roller coaster experience I've ever had. Once you ride it, you're riding in a laying down position. For some people, it's quite frightening. I thought it was an absolute rush. I've been on 422 different roller coasters in the United States and Canada. I've probably ridden Batwing close to 50, I don't know, 75 times. Batwing is the most intense roller coaster I've ever been on.
Batwing's overhead track design offers flyers an unobstructed view, while gravity pulls them snugly against their harnesses as they literally fly through the air.
I've always wanted to hang glide, but I'm kind of chicken about stuff like that and parachuting and stuff. I know roller coasters are safe, and it's a thrill to be able to have that hang gliding or flying experience and be on a roller coaster, strapped in nice and tight.
So just how has Batwing made human flight possible? The minute you load into the ride vehicles, you'll notice this is not your traditional roller coaster car.
The guest restraint system begins with a shoulder harness that was borrowed from Formula One racing. Once we lock the rider in, they no longer have control of the release mechanism here. It's monitored by the computer throughout the course of the ride. We then are able to take the vest and provide a snug fit to each guest's independent body style, and the belts will lock down, provide a firm fit.
The Netherlands-based ride manufacturer, Vekoma International, designed the flying coaster so that the harnesses would also strap riders in at the hips and shins. Then the restraints ratchet down for a customized fit. Next, these ride vehicles don't just roll out of the station.
Like most coasters, we have the standard 3-wheel design, which allows the coaster to stay on the track in any position that we put it into. But we really change from there compared to the other coasters. We start with the lineator, which is the electric motor and piston combination, which will raise and lower the guest carrier unit as it enters and leaves the station.
And while most coasters have sensors along the track to monitor the ride, Batwing's safety system is also built into the ride vehicles.
On the back of the coaster, you can see the 2 junction boxes. We've taken the panel off one of them for you. We actually monitor the safety sensors on the attraction while the ride is in operation. This box contains 23 sensors, which are monitoring the safety systems for the 4 guests in the seat right here. Sensors are not only on the track and in the station throughout the ride, but we have 88 sensors on each train, bringing a total of safety sensors on the ride to well over 300.
This vehicle design securely and safely keeps riders on board during mid-flight, so flyers can even extend their hands freely forward. Because words can't truly describe or explain the extreme ride experience of Batwing, let's jump in, lean back, and take flight with Sam Marks.
Oh my God, here we go! Yeah! Wow! This is incredible! Dropping down the first drop, up into the horseshoe, which is an almost inversion, dropping back down, flipping under a back for the most extreme part of this ride, the vertical loop. Oh my God! You'll never experience G-forces like that, flipping back over to the flying position. Flags America, absolutely extreme.
I'm going to be late for my own wedding. No worries. My Subaru Outback's more stable in a turn than a Lexus RX 300. Gets better gas mileage than a Ford Explorer. And like every Subaru, has the added traction of all-wheel drive.
Subaru Outback, the world's first sport utility wagon.
The rugged outdoorsy type. Nice choice.
See your local Subaru dealer for information on financing as low as 1.9% APR.
My mom's growing a baby.
You know the score?
I met somebody.
How's the weather up there?
I think I just blew it.
Finally, a place where all words are equal. The Neighborhood, a new nationwide local phone company where you can speak freely to whoever you want, whether they're next door or across the country.
She lost her first tooth.
I gave him my number.
One monthly price for unlimited local and long distance from one place. A place that understands the importance of all words. The Neighborhood. All words are equal again.
Discover how our universe was born and find out where it's heading. Unfolding Universe, next Monday at 9, only on the Discovery Channel.
Wish you could say goodbye to split ends?
Hit the road, Jack, and don't you come back no more, no more.
Now there's new Pantene Daily Moisture Renewal made just for dry, damaged hair. The creamiest Pantene Pro V formula ever. Gives up to 10 times more damage protection, so you can say goodbye to split ends.
Hit the road, Jack, and don't you come back no more, no more, no more, no more.
New Pantene Daily Moisture Renewal. Pantene Pro V. So healthy, you'll love your hair.
At Jacobs & Goodman, we know there's never a good time to have an accident, even a minor one.
For most people, when the unexpected does happen, there are many questions that arise and details that need to be handled.
Often the advice you get is confusing, and you may feel like you're in a tug-of-war between your insurance company and the person who caused the accident.
What do you do when you're hurt and it wasn't your fault?
At Jacobs & Goodman, we have been helping people injured in automobile accidents for over 25 years. Call Jacobs & Goodman toll-free at 1-888-602-HELP.
Hit a home run with Major League Baseball on Time Warner Cable. Catch hundreds of great games and follow your favorite teams all season long on the networks that pitch all the scores, highlights, and analysis. Get Time Warner Digital Cable and Roadrunner High Speed Online for even more great coverage. And die-hard fans, take advantage of the Major League Baseball Extra Innings pay-per-view package. From the first pitch to the final season out, Time Warner Cable has baseball. This week, catch these great matchups.
This June, the Discovery Channel will turn ordinary cars into extraordinary machines. Monster Garage, coming in June, only on the Discovery Channel.
I think acrophobia is an extreme ride because it's very fast. It's very frightening. It'll try your nerves, and that's what people pay for. People pay the ticket to be frightened, and you're going to be frightened, no doubt. There are people who need thrills, just like people need horror movies, and people need comedy, people need a drama, to cry, or whatever. And acrophobia just makes sure that you're scared of heights, even if you're not.
If it's fear of heights you wish to confront, then fly on over to Six Flags over Georgia. This 250-acre extreme park has just raised the margin on novel ways to deliver extreme fright. And this particular margin stands 200 feet sky high.
Acrophobia came about as a result of some folks getting together and saying, you know, we've pushed roller coasters almost as far as we can push them. Let's look at something a little different and see if we can find a new experience that can replicate the thrill of a roller coaster, but can do it in a different way. And thus, Acrophobia was born.
Located on the outskirts of Atlanta, Acrophobia is the first free-fall drop ride where riders don't just sit in seats. They stand with legs dangling free. The ride also doesn't take the traditional journey straight up. It spins riders 360 degrees so they can try to enjoy the breathtaking view.
But what makes this ride unique among other drop rides is when you get to the top, you know you're going to drop, but as the seat comes a little forward a few degrees and up to 15 degrees, you know, most rides you drop and you go feet first, but here you're looking down, and that can be scary.
When you're 200 feet in the air and looking straight down 200 feet, it feels like you're 1,000 feet in the air. You're sitting there for what seems like an eternity, waiting on this thing to drop, looking at the ground 200 feet below you, wondering if it's ever going to drop.
I think it's that pause, that long pause, that gets people because they don't know when it's going to happen.
And I can tell you there's no sensation like looking straight at that ground, 200 feet in the air, and watch that come up to you in less than a second. It just creates an adrenaline rush like none other. Screams are a great sign on thrill rides. We know that we've accomplished our task with a thrill ride if we hear screams.
To deliver these screams and laughs, Acrophobia employs a myriad of mechanical, electrical, hydraulic, and pneumatic functions to accomplish each ride cycle. The ride's creators, Intamin of Switzerland, designed Acrophobia with a lift system that locks and attaches to the 65,000-pound seating ring. Shoulder harnesses keep riders safely in their seats. Then, 4 AC drive motors rotate the 30-passenger ring as it ascends 200 feet.
Acrophobia does a 360-degree rotation. Guide wheels such as these are what maintains the stability of the ride as it's in a rotation cycle.
The motors drive the ring upward at 3 meters per second or 6 to 7 miles per hour.
After the passenger ring reaches the top of the ride, the computer gives a signal to the pneumatic cylinder here that creates the 15-degree tilt.
The lift system holds riders at the top. And if you can manage to think clearly enough to count, you'll notice you're suspended over Atlanta for 20 seconds. Then the hook release activates, and now gravity takes control. Passengers plummet toward the earth, experiencing pure free fall at 58 miles per hour. The only thing stopping them from hitting Earth?
Well, it's the basic magnet principle where you have eddy current, where you have the north and south poles. And what this does, we have a series of magnets that go through these brake fins.
Intamin designed a magnetic braking system. Brake fins lining the base of the tower are composed of a mixture of steel and copper. The magnets in the rider's braking system are naturally repelled by the copper element.
The actual brake fins, what changes the braking action of the passenger vehicle is the increased amount of copper that's added to the steel material. As you come down, that increase of copper keeps increasing, which in turn gives you the slower and slower speed of the passenger vehicle. It gives to a nice soft stop. These are permanent magnets. They stay in their permanent state, and it's totally fail-safe. There's nothing feeding this as far as electrical power. It's purely a mechanical magnet installation.
The ride's magnetic brakes create a 3G finale for passengers, which means riders will feel 3 times the normal force of gravity. The combination of safety and thrills is what keeps extreme riders like Robert Nagy coming back for more.
I've ridden Acrophobia quite a few times, and I guess because I'm somewhat of an extreme ride fanatic. I had quite a bit of experience with Acrophobia. I suppose sitting at a desk, plunging 161 feet is a nice way to end a day.
Here we are
at Six Flags Over Georgia on Acrophobia, definitely an extreme ride. We're twisting and turning up a tower which is approximately 200 feet tall. When we get to the top, we're going to angle out even further so we can see the ground coming, and we're going to drop at 61 miles per hour, 161 feet. The horizon is beautiful from up here, but this is definitely a scary and a very extreme ride. And it's a very freaky experience. And here we go. It's going to be an amazing, amazing journey. And I'm scared. And what a wonderful view you got from up here before you put to the earth! Ah! Oh my God. Definitely an extreme thrill ride.
Thrills, Chills, and Spills is brought to you in part by AT&T Long Distance. Let your long distance be unlimited. And by full-time all-wheel drive for full-time adventure. Subaru, the beauty of all-wheel drive.
Do I have what, Mom?
I have the greatest mom. Lisa's my only daughter. Seems like she's called me every day for the last 11 years.
When my mom told me about this unlimited plan, it was such a perfect thing for us.
You can talk to anyone who has AT&T long distance at home for as long as you want for $19.95 a month.
There was no thinking about it. She just said, "You're doing it." And I was like, "Oh, okay."
My daughter is a wonderful mother. She just knocks my socks off. You know?
Call 1-800-REACH-OUT.
They tested the Subaru Forester. They tested the Subaru Legacy. Now the Subaru Impreza. It's official. The Insurance Institute for Highway Safety has given every Subaru they tested their highest possible rating. So would the world be a safer place if everyone drove an all-wheel drive Subaru? It couldn't hurt.
Now you can get 1.9% APR on 2002 Forester and Legacy Outback models.
You're watching Best of Discovery Week.
Tomorrow night, Best of Discovery Week continues with the new detectives.
Man, look at that. We're out of soap. I guess these dishes will have to wait.
There's plenty left.
Dawn does 20% more greasy dishes than the other leading brand while suds last. Dawn takes grease out of your way. So get Dawn and get done.
Jim! Hey, Mikey.
Here's our TV.